Shot short. Rebound tipped and taken by James. Here comes James in the open floor. James grab from behind. Count it. Goaltend and one.
Welcome to episode 8 of the And One podcast. Today, me and Alex discuss transgender rights and gun control. We hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. So, Alex, in light of recent tragedies, there have been some shootings across the country at schools. There's been shootings in Buffalo. What are your thoughts on gun control? Do you support it? Are you against it? Are you neutral? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I think I speak on behalf of Gunnar as well as myself when I say we send our blessings and condolences to the families affected of the recent tragedies that happened in Uvalde, Texas, and Buffalo, New York. It's just a very scary time, for sure. Um, I just can't imagine what those parents are thinking, and I can't imagine what school officials and school teachers around the country are thinking with just the amount of mass shootings that has happened as of recent. I mean, we're only just a little over 100 days into the year, and we've had well over 200 mass shootings in the United States. Something has to change, and it has to change now. And, I'm not, as fully educated on this like I should be. So I'm not just going to come out here and start spewing random stuff. I do know the higher officials of this country need to make change. I'm tired of turning on the news and seeing the same thing. I'm tired of them just sending condolences and that's it. There's kids that are dying and losing their innocent lives over sick people who can just easily get access to guns left and right. The gun laws in the United States vary from state to state, and we need some realignment. We need change. It is absolutely a disgrace that in Texas you can just go to a gun show at 18 years old and just buy a automatic rifle. That makes zero sense to me. I'm not saying we need to ban guns by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think that it does need to be way harder to obtain a gun. And I'm not just talking background checks, I'm talking mental health checks monthly, because at this point, the amount of people that are obtaining guns illegally is just out of this world because it's way too easy to obtain a gun. I'm sick for these families that have been affected by these recent shootings. And all I can really say on it is we need change. I don't know how you feel about it, but it's just a sick world we live in today.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they're too long. Like ever since even I was born, you've seen like shootings and like all these things go on. And it's just I feel like there needs to be some level of gun control. I think it's just like too easy for these tragedies to just happen rapidly. And I remember seeing like people like Steve Kerr get mad about it. I just feel like you know, there needs to be some change. Because this affects a lot of people's lives, and I think it's something that we need to look at. We need to come together, and when people in power need to like stop thinking about how they can remain in power and just think about the people of the country. They got to stop valuing like their positions in power. Like they got to actually like go out there, write bills, put them out. Not even just write them, just like sign them. I'm tired seeing like these shootings. I mean, I don't feel safe. I want. It doesn't matter like how many like SROs you put out. It just feels like there's just always these shootings that are always happening. It pains me to see. And if I ever have kids, I don't want them living in this kind of environment. I don't want to like be scared for them to go to school and get shot. So yeah, I mean, definitely something that we need to look
Yeah.
at as a country and come together on.
And one thing I want to add too is like I'm seeing a lot of people, um, specifically people that want to keep their guns and stuff. I'm seeing a lot of those people come out and say we need to send teachers to school with guns, and that just makes me so angry because that just makes zero sense to me. These
Yeah.
people, teachers are like the most underappreciated humans of our nation. They're some of the most underpaid people in the workforce. They do so much, yet get so little respect. And now we're just like gonna be like, yeah, there's too many school shootings. Let's just make every teacher bring a gun to the classroom. Like, no, that makes no sense. Do you realize how much stress is already on teachers as it is? And now you just want them to have a gun in their classroom? That makes no sense. Do you also realize how many students would feel so unsafe in that environment? I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of you, Gunnar, but when I see guns, that does not make me feel safe. I understand it makes some people feel safe. That does not make me feel safe. When I see a man walking with an assault rifle into a cherry berry, you think I feel safe?
No,
That like
no,
makes me feel so uneasy, and like that dude's carrying that for his protection. Yet that makes me feel so uneasy. Like it makes absolutely zero sense, that argument to me.
no, I agree. I mean, like it's bad enough you gotta like go underpaid, undervalued, but now you're being asked to like defend like a classroom. I mean, like come on, like I mean, there's no job like being a teacher that you should have to carry a gun to feel safe. Like that just says a lot about the state of our country that we have to resort to like giving teachers guns. Like that's just awful. We can't like it's awful. I agree. Like teachers shouldn't have to go through that stress every day of having to like keep a gun in the classroom. And it just causes so many problems. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a terrible idea, and I think it's just a matter of we need to come together and just get more, just have guns be more limited. I mean, just the way some of these people get them are crazy. You know, it's just wrong.
Change needs to happen.
Yeah, I agree. So now we want to tackle a more lighthearted topic. So Alex, your time in high school, what do you think are some of your most embarrassing stories or story from high school?
Ooh. I can think of two. So my senior year, I was on the soccer team as a manager, and I can't remember if we were playing. It was a varsity team. I think we're playing either Coweta or Collinsville. I don't remember the team exactly. I just know it was like a team with a C. So I'm gonna guess it was Coweta, but it could have been Collinsville. And their bench was like talking so much trash the whole game, and I was on the field. I was next to Coach Hall, so I heard it was up in personal. So I remember when they scored a goal, like they kind of like pointed over to our bench and like celebrated. So it was 1-0, and then second half we tied it up, so it was 1-1. So it was like a district game. So it ended up going to overtime until someone scored. Well, so no one scored after the 20 minutes went up. So after the 20 minutes, we went to penalty kicks. So we went to penalty kicks, and it was like 3-3. And one of their players went up to go for a penalty kick. He missed. So one of ours went up for to go for the fourth penalty kick for us. He made it. So the pressure was all on them, right? They had to make this fifth penalty kick to stay in it. Basically, if they miss it, we win. So Riley Dunham bailed us out, and he saved it. And I kind of regret doing this. I grabbed my phone and I went on Snapchat and I recorded. Like, I went right in front of their bench, and I was like celebrating in front. I was like, "Yeah, who's all quiet now? Who's talking now? Who's talking now? Go to bed. You guys just took the L." And I went to the I went on the field with my teammates, and we started celebrating and freaking out. Right, so that's not really embarrassing. That's fun. But then we end up seeing them in the state tournament, Gunner.
Oh,
Saw them in the state tournament, and we lost 4-0, Gunner. And I'm not
oh,
even joking. Every goal they scored, Gunner, they pointed at me and celebrated. So that was the most embarrassing thing, because everyone on the bench was like, "Alex, look what you started, man. Look what you did, man. You got them motivated, man." So I felt bad because I got our team embarrassed. So then the first one, excuse me, the second embarrassing thing that happened to me in high school that I can think of was, yeah, it was my sophomore year in band. We were at the prior marching band contest, and that the whole morning was very normal. You know, it was a good morning.
Yeah.
Right? We get to Pryor. We're warming up. Everything's going normal, completely fine. We do our run. I'm feeling a little down because I'm like, we could have did better, you know. But I start walking back to the bus, and then I go on to my bus, the boys' bus, and I'm getting dressed, and then I look on my phone, and my girlfriend at the time texts me, "We need to talk." I'm like, what? I'm like, what happened? Everything was going so fine. So I'm like, okay. So I get off the bus and I walk over towards the girls' bus, and I'm just waiting. She comes out, she says the same thing. She's like, "We need to talk." So then she like walks me over to the like the end of the percussion and color guard bus, and we're just like sitting down next to the sidewalk, and she like asks me, "Did you cheat on me?" And I'm like, kind of like with a smile on my face, like, "What?" And then she like doubles down and asks if I'm cheating on her, and I'm like, "No." Still with kind of a smile on my face. And then she's like telling me that this girl named Chelsea
Oh my
on her
god.
bus was telling her that I cheated on her with Chelsea. And I was like, just kind of like shocked. I was like, what? I thought she was joking around, right? So I'm very like confused. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she's like setting me up. I don't know if she's joking around, right? Then she starts crying, and I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, "You really think I cheat on you?" I'm like, "I didn't cheat on you." And then she starts like yelling at me, saying like, "I thought you loved me. I thought you did this. I thought you did that. How could you ever do this to me?" And then like it's super like awkward, cringe, embarrassing because not only like is our band like right there, but like you have like people from Charles Page band walking by, you have people from Fort Gibson's band walking by, Poto's band's walking by, and all they see is just like a girl crying, screaming at me, crisscross applesauce in the dirt, helpless as can be. So then I'm like, uh, I will literally go confront her with you to prove my innocence. I'm not cheating on you. I've never cheated on you. And then she literally told me if I go up and talk to her, she's gonna break up with me. So I'm like, huh? So like in my head, I'm just thinking like, are you lying? Like, why would you break up with me for proving my innocence, Gunnar? So so
uh,
I'm just getting annoyed because she's like yelling at me and like saying like I'm the worst boyfriend ever. I'm a POS. I'm every name in the book. I'm having enough. So I get up and I'm walking over to the girls' bus because Chelsea's sitting right there with two guys next to her, and
mm.
my girlfriend saw me walking over to her. She shoves me, says, "We're done, Alex." Gets on the girls' bus crying. So then at that point, I was like, I have nothing to lose. She just broke up with me. So then I asked Chelsea, I'm like, "Hey, did you tell Candace that I'm cheating on her with you?" And she's like, "What?" And I asked the same thing. And she said, "No, what are you talking about?" And I said, "She just said that I cheated on her with you." I said, "I never said that." I was like, "What is happening?" So I just walked back onto the boys' bus. Everyone on the back of the bus is like, "Yo, Alex, are you good? What happened?" Like, what? I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. I guess I just got broken up with." So I'm on the bus. 5 minutes go by. Camille and Caroline come up to the bus. "Hey, Alex, Candace wants to talk to you." So I was like, "Yeah, go Alex." I'm like, "What do you mean, go Alex? What do you mean, go out?" I get off the bus. My girlfriend is there,
Oh my
and she's like, takes me back to the same spot behind the color guard bus, and she's like, "Chelsea's a POS. She effing lied to me, Alex." And I'm like, "What?" She, what is happening? She starts apologizing to me. She starts hugging me, and then like my sister and her friends are poking their head out of the back of the bus. Like, "Oh, look at them! They're so cute." And I'm just like, "Dude, what the heck is happening? Is this a setup?" Yeah, I
Oh
was beyond embarrassed. I didn't know what happened, and yeah, I don't know, I don't know what to make of that situation. It was horrible. Anyway, so what is yours, Donner? I'm
You
really
know,
curious.
I was going to go one way, but so I remember I had a crush on this girl. Her name was Macy freshman year, and like I really liked her, right? And there
Yeah.
are a series of like attempts I made that I cringe at, but there's one like that sticks out of my mind. I don't know if you remember, but do you remember like when they went around the school and they were like taking like videos of people like who you liked and stuff?
Yes, I actually saw yours. I saw
Yeah,
yours.
yeah. I what did I say? I was like, I like said like, who do you like? Oh, Macy Baker. I did like the little heart sign, and
Yes.
like it was like, oh my god, I
The whole
saw that
school saw it
I
basically.
yeah, I saw, dude. I saw that video, and I was like a week later, I was like, why the fuck did I do that? That was so cringy. I still think about that to this day. That was disgusting. Like I still am like, why did I? That was like, I mean, there were like when I asked her out was cringy. What I told her I felt was cringy. Everything I did involved her was cringy, and like I can't like it's. In some ways I appreciate I had that experience because it humbled me badly, but it's also like, man, like I wish I didn't do that. Like, cause a lot of people saw that, bro, and I was like, I
Yeah,
don't.
the
It's like
whole school saw it.
I couldn't come back from that. Like, I really couldn't. Like, I just like it kind of made me like that really shot me down. So that that oh my yeah that was what sent me into like a low key. I wouldn't say depression, but it was like holy crap, dude. That was so cringy. I couldn't watch. Like I still think myself a freshman year, and I just cringe so bad. I'm like, why did I do that? But there's another moment that's almost as bad. So I don't think you were there. It was like my junior year. So basically, okay, so we had this marching show called Curie, right? And
Yeah.
I had to do a piano solo. So I spent like months. And it's not even that hard. I was just overthinking. Like I spent like I it was like a home game in September, like at NSU Doc Wadley Stadium, and like basically it was a Friday night. I still remember it was like 2019. I think it was September 2019, and I remember that like it was yesterday. So like I got anxious. So for some reason, I went to the gas station. I took a 5 hour energy, and I felt worse. I kept reading through the music, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got so anxious, and oh my god, I this was the worst freaking performance. I remember what got me was when I like saw Macy in the audience, bro. Like and I remember like I came in like 4 beats late and like I blew the solo. I was off the marching and Mr. Allen just gave me a look like, "What are you doing?" And like I was just sitting there like struck. I was like I was like, "What are you doing, Gunnar?" And I was like, "I'm sorry." Like I remember like after that. Now granted after that I played fine like because it was just the first movement. But oh my gosh, I remember I was crying. Even Candace came and was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No." And then like I went home that night. I think I listened to like at the NF album. What was it? I was like the one they released in 2019. You remember like it was that the Chance the Rapper album. I listened to NF for like 5 hours and like I didn't talk to you or Dave for like 3 days. I don't think I couldn't stomach it. And then I come on the call, I was like, yeah, I'm okay. You know, it's fine. Like it shook me to my core. Like it was so bad, and it
Yeah, I don't
was
even
worse because
remember
she
that.
saw it.
I don't
No,
even
like
remember that. I don't
okay,
think you
but
told
like
me about that.
no, like, but like, Dave remembers it. Dave could tell you, but no, that was oh my god. I mean, granted, I played better for the rest of the season, but that haunted me more than anything because it was like in front of like almost like all the freaking people from high school, you know. And this was the thing for me. Like, it sounds weird, but I play a lot. I feel like when it came to like when I were in band, I would perform a lot better on the road than like at our high school. Because for me, like the pressure of playing in front of like all my friends and stuff was like
Yeah.
worse. Because it's like I don't want them to see me choke. Whereas if I'm going to Wasso, it's like I don't feel that. You know what I mean? Oh, and I remember my freshman year. Remember this? Like, I came in like a beat late. And I was like, "What the
Yes, I
freak?" Gunnar
remember
choked.
that.
Gunnar choked out. Like that was pretty bad. But that didn't really hit me as bad. So no, I mean
I
that.
remember that one. Yeah, when
Oh
Dunn
yeah, that
Dunn
was
was on
bad.
your yeah on you.
Yeah, and then Sarah Dunn got mad. She's like, "What the frick? Like he's trash." Or I don't know, but it was bad. But basically, like, yeah. Anyways, next topic we want to talk about is what is your most controversial opinion?
Ooh, I probably had to go with I feel like every marriage should have a prenup in place. especially here in the United States, because I don't know if you knew this, but almost 50% of marriages in the U.S., Gunner, end in a divorce or separation, right? So they estimate that 41% of all first marriages in a divorce. So I've seen so many people get screwed over, specifically. I don't want to just say like the males, but it seems to be the people that are how would I say this? The more successful one in the relationship tend to get screwed over more often than not when it comes to divorces, right? Obviously, I don't know every ins and outs of divorces. I've never been married, but I think I feel like prenups. A lot of people get offended when that gets brought up, especially like if you're getting married. A lot of uh, women seem to hate it because they feel like you should trust them. But dude, I don't know, man. Like you say you love that person now, but dude, life happens. You lose feelings, right? Someone cheats.
Yeah.
So, stuff happens. It's life, right? Just because you love them in the moment doesn't mean like it's going to be that way all like 20 years down the road, right? There's a reason
Exactly.
why 50% of marriages end in a divorce here in the United States. So you might as well just take the chance and have a security blanket just in case crap hits the fan, right? So that's my controversial take. I think in America, every marriage should have a prenup in place.
I agree. I think it's almost like a filter, to be honest. Which I mean, like it's like you filter out all the ones that just want to trap you, like Blake Griffin or something. But I agree with your take. Here's a really controversial one. I think my opinion. This was a controversy like a few months ago. I don't think transgender athletes should be allowed to compete with male or female athletes in collegiate sports because it's an unfair advantage. Like if you're a male going into a female dominated field, well, from like a genetic perspective, you're going to be at an advantage. Like from a chemical evolutionary, like it's not fair. I mean, dude, like imagine like an OU softball right now, like just some like freaking like Aaron Judge had a sex change and then he just freaking went down and like hit like 5 home runs. That would be fair. It wouldn't be right. OU softball is playing great right now. There shouldn't be some other person like coming like some guy coming from baseball who's like a like I don't know number one pick from the MLB. He shouldn't be able just to go to softball and just destroy people. It's not fair for women. It's not fair for men. And I don't know. I mean, I think transgenders should have the right to do anything, but in terms of sports, I think if it's a male like want to if it's a male who becomes a female want to compete in a female sport in collegiate sports, I don't think it's fair because they're at an automatic advantage. That's a pretty controversial take. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's how I don't think you should be allowed to
I
compete.
I agree, and it was a big controversy because the Leah Thomas, you know, I believe
Hmm.
believe I, I don't know what to call Leah, but
Her?
I believe Leah went to Pennsylvania University and was a male at one point. It was like ranked like the 436th male swimmer. Got a sex change, became a female, I believe, and won first place in a swimming event and was the national champion. So I completely agree with you. I think it's bad for the sport, and I think it's just bad overall. Like that, it's not fair. I mean, I can't imagine coming in second place. How do you think the second place uh, female felt about that, Gunner? Like
Probably pretty bad because they probably should have
probably
won it.
probably should have won. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I just think it's completely messed up, and I think uh, I agree with everything you said. Couldn't
Yeah,
have said better.
I don't know like what else to say. I mean, it's just not fair. Um, so what is some another topic I want to attack was what is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh my gosh, this. Uh, so I have two, but I can't really say the first one all that much because I do it all the time. So I can't really get mad at people that do it. My first one I was gonna say was people that interrupt someone when they're talking, but I ain't gonna lie, me and you do that all the time, so I can't really like say anything about that. The second
Yeah.
one, I hate slow walkers. Like I hate. I'm not shaming anyone. I hope that doesn't get taken the wrong way. I'm not shaming anyone because I understand some people have like health problems and like they can only walk so fast. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who are fit and in better shape than me. So I went to the OU spring game in April. Right, there was like 70,000 people there, and we parked at the Lloyd Noble Center, which is the men's basketball arena, and it's a mile away from the football stadium. So we
Yeah.
shuttled over on these buses before the game started, and then after the game, you could shuttle back. But dude, those lines for those shuttles were absolutely ridiculous. It was like a 30-minute to an hour wait. We weren't gonna like. It was like a mile away from where we parked, so we're just like, yo, it's a mile away. Let's just go walk. So we start walking, but dude, there's like 20,000 people. I'm not even joking. I'm not like exaggerating. There's like 20,000 people that are walking to the Lloyd Noble Center because that's where they all park. You get free parking over there. So you can't like walk on the road because like that's where the shuttles are. The shuttles are going on there, and there's tons of cop cars over there trying to direct traffic. So you have to walk on the sidewalks, and the sidewalks are not very wide. They're very skinny. And the amount of slow walkers that were in front of me and my brother, it was just so annoying. We ended up it took us literally like 35 minutes to walk a mile because that's how slow people were in front of us. Usually it takes like maybe like 15, 16 minutes to walk a mile for me and my brother, but it took double that because people were just like, I don't know, I guess they were just, destroyed by the sun, but it wasn't even like that bad that day. Like it was pretty cloudy and windy, and people were just, like lollygagging their way to their vehicle. And I was like, dude, people like just want to get out of here. Can you guys please walk faster? Like, please. I know some of you guys can't, but like the ones that can, like, why are you walking so slow? Please, please, please walk fast. I don't know. That probably sounded arrogant, but that's my pet peeve. I hate slow walkers.
See, I kind of mine's like kind of similar but a little different. One of my biggest, I have two. One is people who are unmotivated, and the second one are slow drivers. I hate slow drivers. I think they're annoying. Like I hate it like when you're like on a 70-mile-per-hour highway and someone wants to go like 45. First of all, why are you going 45? Okay, so today I was working 2 to 10, right? They told me, Gunnar, you got to go to Stillwell, you got to get some supplies. So I go there to get some quarter pounder meat, some salt, and we're on like a 70-mile highway to Stillwell, and there's just some guy who's going 50, and like I get, and like it's just like one little lane, so like I gotta be behind him for like 10 minutes, and the whole time I'm like, oh my gosh, just go faster. But then thankfully, when like the dotted, the little dotted lane showed up, you know what I'm talking about, where you can
Yeah,
cross.
you
I
cross, you
like
pass
I
them.
went like I would like a whole nine is like, and then like I was like I went in front of him and I was like yes, because I hated when people do that. Like why are you in a 65 per mile freaking road and you're going 45? You're holding me up. Can you stop? Now it's not really a problem like like dual lane highways, but it's just like one road going back and forth, and you just can't get clear to that one person because they keep blocking you. It's the most annoying crap. I hate that because I'm trying to get somewhere, bro. I'm not trying to freaking go to church. Also, I don't. My other biggest pet peeve is people who are unmotivated, and this is kind of a general term. I mean, it's like when you're doing a project together, like as a group, and no one wants to contribute, or when you're working at like basically. I guess okay. My biggest pet peeve is like when you're working. Say it's anything that involves a group when
Together.
yeah, and like one person doesn't want to contribute or do anything. I remember like this semester, so there's this person that we were supposed to do a project together, right?
Yeah.
But and she was a cool person, but she dropped the class a week before the project was due. So I had to
Oh,
do the whole thing. Now it wasn't a hard project because it was a music appreciation, and I had to do it over some guy I never heard of, like Jimi Hendrix. So I didn't have a problem with it, but dude, it was like I had to do that all myself, and it happened one time. It basically just like when you're working as a group together and the other person doesn't contribute anything. That's my biggest pet peeve.
I feel
And
that.
it's and people drive slow. That pisses me off so bad. Anyways, um, you could probably speak on this. Do you think high school dating was a waste of time?
Actually, hot take. I don't think it was. I know a lot of my friends probably think it was, but hear me out. Well, I can't speak on everyone, but personally, I feel like I learned a lot. Like, dude, if I didn't date in high school, I would be so lost. Like, there'd be so many things that I wouldn't know. But because I would date in high school, uh, I learned, the good and the bad in relationships. I
Hmm.
learned how to, be in a healthier relationship. I learned what not to do in a relationship. I just learned a lot of the ins and outs. Uh, by no means am I perfect, but I think it's one of those great learning experiences that I'm really thankful for. Even though, all my relationships in high school kind of ended in a, I guess, ugly matter. I'm still thankful because I was able to pick up on certain things and just kind of overall learn a lot. Now I know that you weren't. I don't think you dated anyone in high school, but like
No.
from an outsider's perspective, how would you kind of answer that question? Would you say that like, do you think high school dating would have been like a waste of time if you would have got into a relationship?
I don't think it would have been a waste of time. I only think it'd be a waste of time if like I didn't like I personally think high school dating is a waste of time if it takes over your whole high school experience. Like you like it gets to the point where it's like you can't like I don't know. Basically, if it's like the centerpiece of high school, I could see it being a waste of time because then you look back and you're like, oh man, like I should have done this. But I think if like you just
Dang, calling me out.
no, no, no. I mean, I'm talking about people who like, I don't know. It's just like they make it like the whole, like it's everything. Like they don't think about their classes, they don't think about their electives, like the fun things. They just make it about like that one thing. So, but I think if it was just like a thing you did on the side, like it was just a relationship you kind of had, um, like, I don't think it's honestly okay, now I'll rephrase that. I don't think it's a waste of time for like at all because I think it's important to have that learning experience. I was in a relationship in high school, but I think it would have given me better insight. um, you know, and like yeah, it's true that probably like 90% of relationships in high school, they're not going to last, right? I mean, if you're in high school right now, like your relationship's probably not going
Yeah.
to last. You're not going to make it. I mean, you're going to move away, probably go to college or something else. Like you're not
Oh
going to,
my
you're going to,
god.
the relationship's going to die. But like, listen, like it's good. I think as a guy who never had one, I think it's good to have that experience because I think as a 19-year-old in college, I feel like that could have helped. Like I could read certain signs. I mean, yeah, I've been to prom and I've like talked to girls and stuff. Like I've never been like in a full relationship. So like by the time I get into one, I'm probably going to get screwed, right? So like let's just hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, like hey, it's good. It's good to be in a high school like relationship in high school. Just don't let it control your whole life. I'd say if you're going to be in one, just enjoy it. As guys have been in one, just try to just know it's not going to last, and you're going to find someone else. So that's how I think about it. Moving on to the next question. What do you think is the biggest mistake, and what did you learn from it in your life?
Honestly, just the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life was just being too nice, man. Like, especially like early in my life, like probably I want to say like since I was like 14 to like 18 years old, I was just way too nice to like. I don't want to say I let people walk over me, but I was just like a genuine person. I feel like a lot of people just kind of took advantage of that, whether it was like taking advantage of me like in a way to help them, or if they gained something from me, or using me because I was just being nice. And I would say the biggest thing I learned from that was sometimes you just had to be blunt. Sometimes you
Yeah.
just have to be blunt, and I don't mean that like you don't have to be uh, rude. I mean, you can be, but I mean, shoot, like you can't please everyone, man. And it's just one of those situations where you gotta like put your foot down and kind of draw the line at a certain point, and like realize some people like they only keep you around because they know like they can gain something from you, or they can use you for something that can benefit them. And once you realize that, you just gotta stand up for yourself and stop being used, right? So that's the biggest thing I took away from my mistake of being way too nice.
Yeah, I think mine. It's more of an overarching one. Is that I think what the biggest mistake I made throughout my life was hang around the wrong people for too long, like hang around people that didn't like motivate me, people that took energy from me, or like because I remember like even like in middle school and a little bit in high school, like remember we had that friend that I feel like we wasted so much time with because like I
Yeah.
mean like I think a big thing I think about always is like I shouldn't have hung around certain people. I should have hung around smarter people, people that were more like on my, but I was too nervous to talk to certain people. So I think my biggest mistake was hanging around the wrong people for too long and not being around the right people more often. I think I've done better with it now, but like there are times in middle school and high school, heck, I might even say like, as far as early as elementary, where like I could have hung around smarter, more just better people, like, and not surround myself with stupid people. I think that's like, and that's the reason a lot of people become who they are is because who they associate themselves with. So I think it's very important that you be around a good network of people. So I think that's been the biggest mistake I've made was being around the wrong people for too long and not being around the right people enough. So that's something I would take away as my biggest mistake. Um, Something else more of an overarching idea is what do you think motivates you the most?
Oh man, just like when people like doubt you, man. You know what I mean? Like you ever just like say something out loud and like you kind of just like in a group and people just kind of laugh like, dude, no way you can do that type of thing. That stuff motivates me, man. Like I love when people doubt me, and I love when people just kind of like, I guess you could say diss, because like if you think that's gonna like demoralize me, no, like you're sadly mistaken. Like that's just gonna like make my motor keep going. Like that's gonna, put gas in the fire type thing. You know what I mean? Like I love when people doubt me because that just makes my motivation go to an all new level of high, and I love it.
Right. I think for me it's like that like I think I've become a workaholic over the past not like I become workaholic over the past like few years, or maybe I've always been, I don't know, but like what motivates me is the idea that someone out there is beating me at something. Like someone out there is like doing better in something I should be doing good in. So that always motivates me. That's why I'm always like trying to like go farther than people in class or go farther than people in like um just like a lot of different areas, maybe like it's a game or like when I played music or a sport, like it's more so like I'm always thinking in the back of my mind there's someone better than me at this thing, and that pisses me off. So for me what motivates me is the idea that there's someone better than me getting something that I want. It's like what motivates me is the
Yeah.
idea like I don't want that person to have that thing that I want, so I'm going to like work hard to stop that. So yeah, that's what motivates me the most. It's just like like idea of someone taking something that I want and me working my best at my best ability to get it. So another topic I want to talk about really in relationships is what does it take for someone to become good friends with you?
Honestly, man, it's pretty simple. Like if I can communicate really well with someone, then we're gonna be really good friends. But if I can't communicate well with you, then I don't think we can really be good friends. Because dude, I feel like I'm pretty easy to communicate with, right? So it's like one of those things where if I'm having a hard time communicate with you, or if I just feel like, you're just kind of I don't want to say not interested, but like you're just kind of uh being short, I guess, then it's just kind of like one of those things where I just feel like I'm being annoying and I don't want to bother that person. Because I don't want to bother that person, I kind of lose that touch with communicating with them. So over time, like it just becomes like one of those things where I am not like reaching out to them and they're not reaching out to me. So as long as that doesn't happen and we're on like a good communication level, then I would say it's a very good way to become good friends with me.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me it's like three things. I think it's trust, time, and like I guess like maybe not so much like liking the same things but having like similar goals. I think it's like for me like I have like it takes me a long time to form like a true friendship. Might take like a year maybe, but for me it's like a level of time, consistency and trust you build with that person, and like what you're willing to share, and also like having similar like ideas or goals. I think that's what connects people is like having similar drives. So I
Yeah.
think that for me is like, you know, what
Yeah.
that takes to be good friends. You have to have like similar beliefs that keep you tied together, but also need to be like consistent in communication. And
Yeah, I can
that's
respect
that
that.
that's how I feel about it. Um, More public opinion. So what is your opinion on people kissing in public?
Well, I feel like we can both say that we both saw our fair share of people kissing in public, especially,
In band.
yeah, in marching band. People just had like no filter when it came to that kind of stuff.
It's pretty
But
gross.
yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. You got to keep that behind closed doors, man. No one wants to see you making out with your boyfriend and girlfriend, man. Like, come on, let's not do that. If you're not gonna do it in front of your parents, why would you do it in front of your friends? Like, come on, like
Yeah,
it's just such
kind
a
of cringe.
awkward, yeah, cringe,
It's
uneasy,
cringy to
like.
watch. Like I
It's,
remember that video you saw. Like it was like someone was like making out behind the bus, and you're recording it. I was
yes.
like, oh, I could feel the cringe. Like, oh god, like it came through the screen and hit me. It was like,
Yeah, and I don't know how they like just have like the confidence just to do that like in
I
front of
don't think
like
it's confidence.
everyone.
I just don't think they care. Like they like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Um,
I don't know, like public display of affection, man. Like holding hands, like dude, I ain't gonna lie. I don't like holding hands in public. I really don't. Like, I don't like PDA at all, man. It just because I don't like looking at it. It just makes me cringe. So if I don't like looking at it, why would I want to do it? Type of thing. You know what I mean? So it's just like one of those things where I think just keep that stuff behind closed doors, and it's okay. But if you start doing it in front of people, like it just becomes so cringe and awkward to me.
yeah. I generally don't like it. I mean, I don't like. I don't hate it in certain settings. Like maybe if it's like a concert, I'm like, okay, I can accept it. But like even then, like I feel kind of bad. Like man, that should be me. Or you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay. No, I mean like no, like okay, like I don't like it when people like did it in high school or in college. It just makes you feel uncomfortable. But sometimes like at a concert, like I'm like, oh, this is a good moment. But then it doesn't make me cringe. It just makes me feel sad. Like I'll just be like at a Justin Bieber concert, and I'll be like, man, everyone's like getting it on. I'm just sitting here like listening to like this song. I got nobody, you know. So like I mean like I don't like it in like that cringe aspect, but also like it makes me feel bad. It's like no, I don't like it, man. Like it just feels wrong. Like it just like it feels like I shouldn't be witnessing it, you know? Like it just doesn't
Yeah.
feel right to me. So um like what do you think is the funniest pickup line you've ever tried?
So honestly, I don't really say pickup lines to girls, and that's kind of corny to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've never texted a girl a pickup line. Like there was this one time where I texted this girl. It was like something like, "You must be tired because you've been running through my mind all night." But when I sent it, dude, like right when I clicked send, like I just like exited off my phone, just like threw it, and like I was like, "Why did I send that? Why did I send that?" And then I get like the Snapchat notification, think, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then I check, and it's like, "LOL," and I was like, "Dude, why did I send this? I just messed up. Why did I send this?" Oh, what about you, Prince
Honestly,
Charming?
like I don't think like I I can't really think of a funny pickup line, but I could say the funniest thing I ever tried was like I don't know like that time where I like asked out Macy on Valentine's Day and I like gave her chocolate and like that was just so cringy. I mean, I think it's funny, but like I just think it's so bad. Like why? Like the way I did it was just awful. Like it was like the right mindset, but the execution was terrible. I still remember that day, like 4 years ago. I still remember that it was so bad. So I never really used a pickup line, but that was probably like the funniest thing I've ever done. Now it had like the wrong intention, but it was funny to me looking back. But I still cringe at it though. It's just kind of like a mixed bag. So, have you ever found someone attractive who you really shouldn't?
Oh yeah. Um, when I was in middle school, I had this like really hot dentist. And looking back on it, I'm like, I'm stupid. Like, why would I like, like that was dumb. Like, why would I like find this old lady attractive? But hey, man, I was a, you know, 13-year-old at one point, so it's just one of those things. Like I thought she was hot, but nothing more, nothing more. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think like for me, it's like what I think was like I found hot were like certain video game characters. Like I thought Cortana.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Like I shouldn't because they're not real. Like they're just like
Yeah.
these like Lady Dominatrix, Cortana. Like that's weird. But like when I was a kid, I was like, man, they're kind of attractive. But like, nah, dude. Like that's just like
Josh.
that's not
I
right.
thought you were
Like
gonna say like a middle school teacher or something, and you said a
no.
video game.
Well, you should like, yeah, but like, I don't know, you shouldn't, dude. Like, they're not real. They're just, I mean, I get. Oh no, I mean, there was a middle school teacher, like my math teacher. Like, I thought she was really attractive, but like, I mean, I shouldn't have though. I was like, she was something like she did tennis. I was like, man, she kind of attractive, but like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's just, I think that I should not find video game characters ever attractive because they're not real. They're fake. They're made up. I mean, someone's playing them, but anyways, like, let's not talk about that. It's strange. Anyways, I could definitely, yeah, I definitely did this. Have you ever fumbled? Have you ever fumbled the bag with a girl you liked?
Yeah, actually, I have. So my senior year of high school, like going into my senior year, I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend at the time. So it was like a really long relationship. So I broke up with her, and then I want to say like a few months later, I started talking to this one girl, and me and her we had like a little history from like eighth grade because we went like way back. But we both liked each other in eighth grade, but I just never made a move because I was just always shy. So whenever I got in high school, I was in a relationship like basically like freshman up until senior year. So like I never really talked to her, but I started talking to her again like a few months after I broke up with my ex, and it was kind of getting to like those to the point where we were like talking, and she was like inviting me over to come to her house and like swim and stuff like that. So I didn't want to like rush into anything. I just felt like that was probably a little inappropriate because I just got out of a relationship, and I didn't want like my ex girlfriend or like any rumors coming out that were like, oh, like I was thinking about this girl the whole time or anything like that. So like I just like told that girl like I really don't want to like rush into anything. I feel like it's a little inappropriate, and she understood, like she respected it, right? But like 5 months after that, like she got into a relationship with someone, and she's engaged to him to this day, and she's like a dentist. And uh I did like her. I'm not gonna I did like her, but like I didn't want to like I felt like it was a disrespectful thing to do. And you know I was a little sad about it. I'm over it now, but like yeah, I definitely fumbled the bag with that because she also likes, she's a diehard OU fan too, and I am. So I was like, dang, really fumbled it.
I actually, I was just thinking about this now. I forgot completely about this, but this was like 2009. So I don't think I ever told anyone much about this, but basically, there's this girl in kindergarten. Back when I lived in Heron, Illinois, with this little tiny elementary school, and her name was Allison. I had a huge crush on Allison, and I remember I always tried to impress her. But one night, I fumbled really hard. So it's like 2009. There's used to be this place called, I think, Snow Power. We'd always go there. And like I remember, like I did a bunch of impressive, like I tried to do a bunch of weird, stupid stunts because I was like five or like no, I was like I don't know, I was like probably like 6 or 7. And I remember like I woke up and like I guess I peed myself like overnight. And then they had to clean it up, and like everyone knew about it. And that was like I felt so low the morning. I was like, man, I really lost it, man. I remember I came back to I
How
came
old were you?
I was like 6 or 7, but dude, like to me, like she was everything, man. When I was like six,
Nah, bro. Like, what's a real moment when you fumble the bag? You can't
dude,
fumble
I
the
did
bag
that.
in 6 or 7,
I mean,
dude.
okay,
Like,
like, yeah, yeah. I fumbled a lot. I mean, let me think. Oh yeah, I think for me, I think I fumbled when like I told, I that's there's so many good moments. I think I fumbled like I said, like that Valentine's Day. That was such a bad way to approach it. I mean, she always
explain it to the viewers. How did you
okay.
approach it?
So basically, like I knew her since September, right? And I was too scared to ask anything. But we sat next to each other in December, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice." But then, like in January, I told her, like
Hang on,
how
you're forgetting like a bunch of details. What year was this? What grade were you in?
Okay, it was
What girl
20.
was
Sorry,
this?
2017, my freshman year. Remember, I just made a high school, so it was like my freshman year of high school. Um, like it was September, and I just met her, and then like I didn't really talk to her much, so that was bad. But then like it was freaking 20. It was December, and I talked to her for like a month at the table, but I never made a move. But then January, out of nowhere, I'm just like, "Hey, man, I like you," and I tell her in the hall, and she's like, "Oh, that's cute." And then like out of a weird like mode of panic, I decided to like do that thing for on Valentine's Day, and I was so cringy and awkward, and it was so bad. I mean, people remember that, like, and there was that tape of me saying how I felt, and the whole school saw it. Like, it was just a whole amalgamation of cringe and awfulness. So yeah, I think I fumbled pretty bad at that. I did not do one thing right. I did everything bad. The timing was wrong. The execution was bad. Everything about that was awful. And I still think about that. And it motivates me sometimes. I go to bed and I'm like, no, I'll never do that again. So, but yeah, I think I mainly moved past it. But yeah, I fumbled that pretty hard. So here's another topic involving these sort of things. What's the most psychotic thing a girl's ever done to you?
Um, it was probably that time my ex-girlfriend followed you on Instagram and
Oh,
then proceeded to text you to talk to me, and uh, I I'm gonna read the text message because you still had the text message on your phone. You sent it to me. Uh,
yeah.
I'm gonna read the text message and we'll show it on the screen. Viewer discretion is advised. Vulgar language. So
Oh
my
god.
ex texted Gunnar saying, "Hey, can you tell Alex I miss him? I'm sure you still talk to him. Dot dot dot. Please, Gunnar. I know you're there." And then Gunnar says, "Who is this?" And then she says, "Candace. Who else, dumbass?" And when was this? This was in October, right?
This was last year. Yeah, it was October last year.
This
Yeah.
was in October.
This
And
was like pretty recent.
the reason why I think this is a little psychotic is because I haven't talked to her since like 2020, and to my knowledge she's married, she has a kid. So I I, I
Pretty
don't
deep in there. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a little psychotic if you ask me, but maybe I'm in the wrong. I don't know. But what about you, Gunnar?
So this is kind of a similar story. So basically, this goes back a long time. Basically, so we talked about there's a girl who was messaging me over Snap, and we talked to her for like a month, right? But she was in a relationship, and it was really awkward. So then
Oh
basically,
yeah,
like, and that was pretty that was
she was
weird,
like she was like using you for like emotional support, like
Basically,
metaphor and
yeah, it
boyfriend.
was bad. Like I was like, I just got used, bro. Screw this. I don't want to do this again. And then like and it was funny because like after this happened, like they broke up really quick, right?
Yeah, they
And
broke up because like you you took the courage to tell her boyfriend like what was happening. And I remember her boyfriend was getting mad at you, and I think he tried to punk you like on Instagram, right?
It was weird. It was a weird time. Let's not talk. I low key embarrassed about it sometimes. I remember it was so awkward. Like they would be arguing at the like game. I used to be sitting with my symbols and like the back. I'm just like, this is like, I'm so happy I'm not like in this right now. And then they broke up. And then like I remember that night. It was like November 2019. um me and Dave were playing Battlefield 5, and randomly, okay, actually I should go into this. So over the months after they broke up, she kept telling me to add her on Snap, and I kept like rejecting it. Like it was after every like competition and band. She'd be like, "Hey, like why didn't you add me?" Like, "Oh, I haven't gotten around to it yet." So I was trying to ignore it for like months until one night she said, like, "Hey, it says you blocked me. I'm using my dad's phone. Listen, I'm sorry. Okay, you didn't have to accept my apology. I messed up. I just want you back in my life. I'll text you later. Think about it. And I'm sorry this happened. Like, you're clearly mad. I hope you have a good life, Gunner." I'm just like, why now? This was like months ago. Like, why are we bringing this up, bro? Like, it was so awkward. And like, I don't know, man. At that point, I was just like, I'm done. Like, this is just why? Yeah, you on your dad's phone. like to just
And you
like.
still have those messages, right?
I still do. I mean, I'm not like I can't read them. They're just like I mean, I guess I can. I read some of it, but I just can't, bro. It's just that's too far, man. Like I can't do it, bro. It's freaking stupid. It kind of makes me it makes me confused sometimes. Let's just say that. Anyways, that was a little insane. On another topic, what is something your last relationship lacked that was a problem for you?
It was definitely trust, and I'm not gonna like just throw shade on my ex girlfriend and bash her. It was on both sides. But I feel like the biggest mistake that was made was that involved the trust issue was like it's like giving my ex girlfriend all of my social media passwords, right? I mean, there's a
Yeah.
reason why my Facebook and my Instagram are completely wiped, and my Snapchat, I had to make like a brand new one. Like,
That
dude, like,
sucks.
I I had so many like friends on Facebook. Now I have like 100 because my ex thought like I should get rid of some of my friends on Facebook and then on
Yeah.
Instagram. I she ended up blocking like over 500 of my friends' accounts.
Jeez.
So it's like one of those things where it's like crap, man. Like a lot of those people like are still blocked because dude, like to unblock people, you have to like go on your unblock, click unblock. You have to like click on their profile, click unblock, click confirm, and then go back. And it's like it's such a long process, man. Like I'm really debating about just making a whole new Instagram, but I don't know because I just really wish I never gave my passwords out, man. Like all my posts are like deleted on Facebook. I have no Facebook memories anymore. So I'm pretty sure anytime someone just like sees my Facebook, they're like, is this a bot account? Like what is it? Because all you can see on there's like a profile pic and like a post from like 2012 and I'm like talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder and I couldn't even spell. I think I said like Oklahoma City won OMG. Like that was like my first post. Like that's the only post you can see. And everything else is like completely wiped off the face of my social media, and it kind of
Yeah.
sucks, man. I kind of because sometimes I like kind of like think of like all the posts or like all the pictures I uploaded from middle school, high school, and even early because I had social media like 2012, 2013. So it kind of sucks, but you know trust was definitely the biggest thing that was missing in my most recent relationship, sadly.
I think I didn't was in a relationship, but I think like I'll go to a friendship. So like with that one guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but like it rhymes with Bond. Basically, like I think what that relationship lacked was was communication. I mean, I feel like he didn't understand. Like we would joke and stuff sometimes, but he would take it the wrong way. I think it was just like the my past relationships that like were really bad or just didn't last. It was a lack of communication, a lack of consistency, lack of understanding we're on the same page. I think that's where relationships go wrong. That's what creates rifts and conflicts. Like when you're either not on the same page or you just diverge and go on different paths. So I think for me it's last relationship for me lacked communication and it really had an effect on the relationship. And
Yeah.
when was the last time you asked a girl out on a date?
I asked out this girl Samantha back in October, and I was actually rejected. Uh, but she was honest with me. She told me she was already talking to someone, and she didn't want to like lead me on. Like she's not dating anyone now, but I'd say we're still like good friends. We still talk from time to time, but yeah, I mean that kind of made me a little. I wouldn't say embarrassed, but I was a little shook, and it humbled me for sure. It's like, dang, go get it
Yeah.
next time, I guess.
I think for me,
Maybe.
I don't know if I consider it a date. I mean, well, some girl that well, I guess I'll just say like America. I guess we went to prom together, but I don't know if I consider it a date. But I asked her out like to go to like the Drip or something. But that was like 2 years ago. Since I really asked anyone out, I've been busy, man. But yeah, that was the
Two
last time I
years,
get.
man. You haven't had someone out in 2 years, man. Why
I don't know.
not?
I haven't really had the
You need to get out there
motivation.
more. You need to
Maybe
get
I gotta
out
get.
there more, dude.
Hey, maybe I do. I don't know, man. It's just I'm not really like I'm
two
just not
years,
feeling it.
bro. You
To,
gotta get yourself out there,
to,
dude.
hey, maybe
Maybe
it'll
some,
change.
maybe some AO pies want are in your DMs or something.
Or Tri Sigmas or Delta Zetas. We'll see. If Kappa Phi is great. I don't know. We'll see if anything changes. So far it's been 2 years, and I've not had the motivation. So yeah. Anyways, next topic we could talk about is let's see. Find it. Okay, yeah. Could you date a girl if you didn't like some of her close friends?
Ooh. Honestly, yeah, I think I could. I think my last relationship was like that, to be honest. So it wasn't a healthy relationship, but yeah, I think I could overlook the friendship thing. But I think it's best to have a relationship with a girl where I'm not saying you have to be friends with her friends, but like I guess be more open minded. I guess you know what I mean. Like I don't think you have to be friends with your girlfriend's friends at all. I feel like that could actually cause some drama and like some jealousy, to be honest. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think overall I could date someone who I'm not friends with her friends.
I agree with that, but I think it could be like I think you have to look into it like why you don't like them. Like, is it because like there's different? Because I feel like I could live with it, but I would just have to like know like why. I mean, like because it could be a red flag. I feel like in certain scenarios, um, and right, like I think that for me it's like I think that I don't know. I think it's something you have to look into, but I think overall I could do that. I think I could live with that. Um, what is something, however, that makes you feel insecure about yourself?
I would say it's a pretty normal one. So for me, like I think it'd be my voice because dude, I just hate like watching videos or like even like the podcast sometimes I like did watching it and then just hear my voice. I just get so I don't know how people put up with my voice. I don't know how you put up with my voice because you hear it a lot. I don't know how my parents put up with my voice. I don't know how my friends put up with my voice. I just think it's really annoying. Like I think Patrick Mahomes sounds like Kermit the Frog, right? I can't imagine what people think I sound like. You know what I mean? So that's like the main thing. Like I'm just like super insecure about.
For me, it's like three things. I think it's like my height, the weight, and partially my voice, not so much my voice. I used to hate hear my voice in recordings, but now I don't really mind it. But I hate like what makes I'm so mad I'm like 5'9". Like you don't understand how frustrating that is. Like you could be like 5'10", but you're just like an inch short. Like that makes me insecure. I don't like my height. Like it makes me mad, honestly. Like I get there's guys who are like 5'7", but dude, like when you're like 5'9" and you're just like a few inches from being like 5'10" or even like 6 foot, it's kind of frustrating because now you're just average in that department. Or also, I don't like is my weight. Like I can eat so much, but it's like I don't know. I just like I hate like how skinny I am sometimes. Like I'll exercise, bro, but I'll be honest, like that makes me insecure. Like the weight, it does. Mainly more so my height, because I think I could get away with being skinny. Like if I was like Chet Holmgren, I wouldn't mind it. But nah, like I don't know, man. Like I think my height's more insecure than anything. I don't really mind being skinny. I'd rather be skinny than like fat, but I don't know. I'd say I'm like most insecure about my height. Um, Another thing I want to talk about is what's one thing you think you can't tolerate when you're dating a girl?
I feel like there's a couple things, but I don't want to be too picky. But I feel like the main thing is just like smoking.
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of friends who smoke, which that's cool. Like they can do their thing, but I personally, like, I don't smoke. Might not be the cool thing, but I just looking out for my lungs. I'm trying to be as healthy as I can. So if I'm with the girl, I wouldn't want them to be putting their health at risk either by smoking and potentially getting lung disease or lung cancer, or what have you, with these other diseases that are coming out. So like smoking, like doing drugs, and if I had to throw another one out there, honestly, like man, I do not like tattoos at all. I don't have anything against people who get them at all. Like I'm pretty sure my brother wants a tattoo. Like I don't hate him for that, but I just personally don't. I don't think tattoos are like that appealing to like look at personally, which I know is a hot take. I know everyone loves tattoos, but I don't know if I could date a girl who has like a bunch of tattoos. Now if I'm in a relationship with someone and we're like, we're like 6 months in and she's telling me she's gonna get a tattoo, well, I just gotta kick rocks. I'm not gonna break up with the girl because of that. You know what I mean? But it's just something I guess I'll have to accept.
For me, it's like I guess just a lack of motivation, or like I guess they smoke. I agree with that. I think that like that just kind of a turn off. Like when not so much vaping or anything, but like if they're just a smoker, that is a turn off. I don't like that. I think it makes people look bad, smell bad, gives off a bad vibe. But yeah, I think for me, it's just mainly like a lack of motivation or a drive to do anything. That's a big turn off for me. Um, it just shows like they don't want to grow or do anything. So like that's a huge issue for me personally when I'm like looking for someone. So yeah, I think for me it's just like a lack of drive, and or like if they smoke, that's a big issue for me personally. Um, Another thing I want to talk about was how do you handle situations when someone ghosts you?
Man, honestly, like that used to like really like mess with me mentally. I ain't gonna lie, like especially like when I was a little bit younger. Like I absolutely because like just for my ego, I didn't like getting ghosted at all. Especially if it was like someone that I liked. You just talk to these people and then like one day like the girl you really like just randomly just like stops talking to you for one day. One day you don't overthink it. One day turns into 1 week. 1 week turns into 1 month, right? And then like that 1 month turns into 1 year and it's like dang, they really don't care about they really don't care about me. So it's just like one of those situations where it really did affect me, but now I'm to the point where like I'm just kind of like I learned to live with it, right? Not everyone is gonna want to, I guess, I don't want to say be there for you, but not everyone's going to want to, I guess, communicate on the same level as you.
Yeah,
And sometimes it's not personal. Sometimes they just don't like chatting, right? So you just got to learn to live with it and accept it. Sometimes, yeah, it does kind of suck, right? Especially if it's someone that you've been talking to, like, I guess, for a longer time. But other times it's like a blessing in disguise because it opens new doors for new opportunities with new people to talk to. But, uh, I don't know. I feel like you just gotta really be honest with yourself, and for me, the reason is like a lot of people when they start to get ghosted, like they start to uh, like double text, and start double messaging people, double snapping people, and I used to do that like when I was in high school, but now I'm to the point where I'm like, if I start the conversation with someone, right? I'm not going to go out of my way to like save the conversation if they've already like if they read the chat or opened the snap or whatever it was, you know what I mean? Like I started it. Like I don't want to seem like come off as pushy. I don't want to come off as annoying and needy and like weird by double texting because I think that can be annoying. I think that can be a little over the top sometimes whenever you're trying to get someone's attention that way, double texting. If they left you on red, they left you on red. Just live and learn from your mistakes, But like I
right.
said, sometimes it's certain situations differ from others. Sometimes people just don't want to talk, right? So you just gotta learn to live with it.
Yeah, I dealt with ghosting I think once or twice. I think what really makes it hurt is like when you talk for someone and all of a sudden it just immediately stops. I think that's what really hurts when you get blocked or something. That's the worst kind. But sometimes it's just kind of like it's not as bad for me because sometimes it's just like a slow fading away. Like it's like you just slowly stop talking to them less and less. And to me, that honestly hurts less because it's just kind of like a progression. I think it's like the worst when it's like you're talking to someone for like a month or even longer, maybe a year, and then like all of a sudden they just block you or just stop talking altogether and you're like, what did I do wrong? And they don't tell you, so you're just like you're left
My
there
gosh,
confused.
blocked. You've been blocked before, eh?
Well, you remember that I was telling you about that one girl from high school, right? And like you remember like that there was that thing going on for a month, right? We were on Snapchat, and then like
Mm. Oh
she
yeah,
blocked
yeah,
me, and you two were in the party, and I was like I was crying.
yeah. Yeah, I
Like,
remember
cause
that. I
that hit
remember
me
that.
like in the moment. Like it's like getting shot. It's like an immediate like gunshot. Cause like you just like you form this connection in your head, in your heart, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. You know, it's not like slowly withered away. It's just all up. It's gone. It's gone. The relationship's gone. You're dead. Like that. That's a worse kind of ghosting. But I think it's like just a slow fading away. It's not as bad. I mean, it's not good, but it's not as bad when someone cuts you off. That's just what hurts. But it's just like they just kind of slowly fade out of your mind.
Dude,
It's not so bad.
sometimes you just gotta like if you're not sure if someone's like really gonna ghost you or not, sometimes you gotta like set it up, right? So sometimes you gotta do a risky thing, and sometimes like if they like send a text. So for instance, if you start a conversation with someone and you're always starting the conversation with that person, and you think they're gonna ghost you, right? And you don't want to get hurt down the road. What you can do is you can see their last message, right? And just leave them on red. Leave them on open, whatever it was, on iMessage or Instagram or Snapchat. Leave them on open, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
If they really care about you, right? They really care about the conversation. They're gonna
They'll
message
eventually
you back.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if they don't, then toodles, like you know, yeah, it's gonna
True.
suck to realize they're not gonna message you back, but
Right.
it's gonna save you from that, I guess, heartache that you'll suffer like later down that road from that, I guess, that emotional connection you form with that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes it's better to like if you're just in like a bad relationship, just like to end it quicker than like just let it go on and just affect your life in a negative way. So yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good take.
We hope you guys enjoy this episode of the And One podcast. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Draymond